Now, today, I actually wanted to celebrate what we have in this country. I mean, there's enough people putting it down. The one great bastion that sets us aside from most, and the one great constant that has given this country the stability and celebrates the traditions and the history, good or bad, that put the great in Great Britain. I want to celebrate the monarchy. And it's not easy being royal. When I hear people denigrate the monarchy in this country, I ask myself, why? What would you put in its place? More politicians? It's the last great thing holding this great country together. But this once great country is falling apart at the seams. Institutions that have been the envy of the rest of the world are turning it into a laughingstock. Take the NHS. Stay at home, save lives, save the NHS. Remember that? We clapped in the streets, we stayed at home to the detriment of our own health so that the NHS would not get overwhelmed. Only to find our taxpayers' cash going into mismanagement, a frivolous attitude towards procurement, equality, diversity and inclusion jobs. One role I read the other day offering £115,000 for a director of lived experience. What the hell is that? We can all do that. Sign me up. And all of this at the expense of the frontline staff who, in my view, could do with a decent pay rise. Maybe not 19%, but I get it. If the government can find the money to enable non-dom status for the Prime Minister's wife and other multi-millionaires and can pluck billions from thin air, then who can blame the nurses, rail workers and anyone else from having a pop? Only plucking money out of thin air causes inflation, which is why we are where we are. But the wheels of the monarchy keep turning, not driven by career goals like our politicians. The monarchy doesn't go on strike. After the year that it's had, you think it might consider it. We've got the United Kingdom, so England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland, in disarray. Let's take Scotland, with one trick pony, one agenda, Nicola Sturgeon at the helm, with which my mother, as you know, I just can't stand that woman. Instead of dealing with Scotland's drug problem, murder rate and the higher levels of poverty, when Nicola's not fighting for independence, she's passing laws for trans people to self-ID at an earlier age without any medical supervision, which in my view is madness. Creating laws to help a tiny minority of people at the expense of a huge majority, women, when you call that democracy? If you want an example of a brilliant woman, take our late Queen Elizabeth II, a woman in command, exerting soft power and protecting the Union, the very opposite to that of Nicola Sturgeon. We've seen Beergate, Partygate, the 45 days of Liz Truss. Our politicians are changing more frequently than the Guard, with 3 Prime Ministers in just this year alone. Yet the monarchy is unflinching. The stability this 1,000-year-old institution offers is not sniffed at. I ask again, what would you put in its place? More politicians? No thanks. And being royal is a lot harder than it looks. Meghan Markle is testament to that. She can't admit that she was unable to grasp how difficult it actually is and the incredible sacrifice that these amazing individuals give for this country. They make it look easy. Sadly, both Meghan and Harry failed, which is why they're so bitter, blaming everything on race. They're too stubborn to admit that they were simply not selfless enough. They were eaten up by jealousy despite being given all the tools and limitless cash to succeed, giving up one of the most incredible and privileged roles on the planet to join the rat race like the rest of us. The world watched and celebrated the Jubilee. It mourned with us over the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, and the eyes of the world will be upon us once again at the coronation of King Charles III. Our late Queen had the right idea. Never complain, never explain. The monarchy is at work all day, every day, upholding the traditions, values of this country. It puts the great in Great Britain. So let's raise a glass to the institution, the foundation of the Union, the glue that holds this country together. Let's raise a glass to the monarchy.